Section 20 Astika Parva continues. This part I missed to record and put it on YouTube. Astika Parva in Adi Parva. Sorry. Sauti said, "Thus I have recited to you all the whole story of how Amrita was churned out of the ocean and the occasion on which horse Ucchaisravas of great beauty and incomparable prowess was obtained. It was the horse about which Kadru and Vinita were saying, 'Tell me, amiable sister, without taking much time, what color Ucchaisravas is.' And Vinita answered, 'The prince of steeds is certainly white. Why do you think, what do you think, sister, of what is it color? Let's lay a wager upon it.' Kadru replied, 'Oh, you of sweet smiles. I think the horse is black in its tail. Beauteous one, bet with me that she who loseth will become others' slave.' Savti continued, thus wagering with each other about a menial service as a slave, the sisters went home and resolved to satisfy themselves by examining the horse the next day. And Kadru, bent upon practicing deception, ordered her thousand sons to transform themselves into black hair and speedily recover the horse. Speedily cover the horse tail in order that she might not become a slave. But her sons, the snakes, refusing to do her bidding, she cursed them, saying, during the snake sacrifice of the wise king Janamejaya of the Pandava race, Agni shall consume you all. And the grandsire Brahma himself heard of this exceedingly cruel curse pronounced by Kadru, impelled by the fates, and seeing that the snakes have multiplied in huge numbers. The grandsire, moved by consideration for his creatures, sanctioned with all the gods this curse of Kadru. Indeed, as the snakes were virulent poison, great prowess, and excess of strength, and ever bent on biting other creatures, their mother's conduct towards them, those persecutors of all creatures, was very proper for the good of all creatures. Fate always inflicts punishment of death on those who seek the death of other creatures. The gods, having exchanged such sentiments with one another, supported Kadru's action and went away. And Brahma, calling Kasyapa to him, spake unto him these words: O thou, pure one, who comest all enemies, these snakes, begotten by you, who are of virulent poison and huge bodies, and ever intent on biting other creatures, have been cursed by their mother. O son, do not grieve for it in the least. The destruction of the snakes in the sacrifice hath indeed been ordained long ago. Saying this, the divine creator of the universe comforted Kasyapa and imparted to the illustrious one the knowledge of neutralizing poison. So this ends the 20th section of Astika Parva in Adi Parva. And Astika Parva continues. Sauti said, when that night has passed in the away and the sun has risen in the morning, O thou whose wealth is esterism, the two sisters, Vinita and Kadru, having their wager about slavery, went with haste and impatience to view the steed Ucchaisravas from a near point. On the way, they saw ocean with a receptacle of waters, vast and deep, rolling and tremendously roaring, full of fishes, large enough to swallow the whale, and abounding with huge magaras and creatures of various forms by thousands, and rendered inaccessible by the presence of other terrible monster shaped dark, fierce aquatic animals, abounding with tortoise and crocodiles, the mine of all kinds of gems, home of Aruna, that is the water god, or the god of water, the excellent and beautiful residence of Nagas, the lord of all rivers, the abode of the subterranean fire, the friend of the Asuras, or the asylum of the Asuras. Asu means death, Rai is death, Asu means sense organs. Those whose senses have been dead, they end up uh, being demonic. The terror of all creatures, the grand reservoir of water ever immutable. It's wholly beneficial to the gods and is great source of nectar without limits, inconceivable, sacred, and highly wonderful. It is dark, terrible, with sound of aquatic creatures, tremendously roaring with full deep whirlpools. It's an object of terror to all creatures, moved by the winds blowing from its shores, and having and heaving high, agitated and disturbed, in seems to dance everywhere with uplifted hands represented by surges, full of swelling billows caused by the waxing and waning of moon, the parent of Vasudeva's great conch called Panchajanya. The great mine of gems, its waters were formerly disturbed in the consequences of agitation caused within by them by the Lord Govinda of immeasurable prowess when he had assumed the forms of wild boar for raising the submerged earth, its bottom lower than the nether regions. The observing regenerate Rishi Atri could not fathom after toiling for 100 years. It becomes the bed of lotus naveled Vishnu when the termination of every yuga, the deity of immeasurable power enjoys yoga nidra, the deep sleep under the spell of spiritual meditation. It is a refuge of Mainaka, the Mainaka fearful of falling thunder. Under retreat of Asuras overcame its fierce encounters. It offers water as sacrificial butter to the blazing fire issuing forth from the mouth of Varava or ocean mare. It is fathomless and without limits, vast and immeasurable, the Lord of rivers. And they saw onto it mighty rivers by thousands with proud gait, like amorous competitors with each eager of meeting for meeting it, forestalling the others, and they saw it was always full and always dancing in its waves. And they saw it was deep and abounding with fierce whales and magaras, and it resounded constantly with the terrible sounds of aquatic creatures. And they saw was it was vast and wide at the expanse of space, unfathomable and limitless, and the grand reservoir of water. This ends the 21st section of Astika Parva of Adi Parva. See how beautifully those days, how Veda Vyasa has narrated the entire, has dedicated one full section of describing ocean with its gems, with its animals inside it, the fishes, everything, and how it is receiving the water. So, what science today says is the same thing what he has mentioned here. Then the section 22. Now, Southi said the Nagas, after consultation, arrived at the conclusion they should do their mother's bidding. For if she failed in obtaining her desire, she might withdraw her affection and burn them all. If, on the other hand, she was graciously inclined, she might free from the curse she has given. They said, "We will certainly render the horse tail black." And it is said that they went and became hairs in the horse tail. Now the two co-wives have laid their wager, and having laid the wager, O best of Brahmanas, two sisters, Kadru and Vinita, the daughters of Daksha, proceeded in great delight along the sky to see other side of ocean. On the way, they saw the ocean that susceptible of waters, incapable of being easily disturbed, mightily agitated by all of a sudden by the wind and roaring tremendously, bounding with fishes capable of swallowing the whale and full of makaras, containing also creatures of diverse forms, counted by thousands, frightful form, the presence of horrible monsters, inaccessible, deep and terrible mine of all kinds of gems, the home of Varuna, that wonderful habitation of the Nagas, the lord of the rivers, the abode of subterranean fire, the residence of the Asuras, many dreadful creatures, the reservoir of water not subject to decay, aromatic and wonderful, the great source of Amrita, of the celestials, immeasurable and inconceivable, of containing waters that are holy, filled with the brim by many thousands of great rivers, dancing as if it were in waves. Such was the ocean, full of rolling waves, vast as the expanse of sky, deep, of body lighted with the flames of Satyrian fire and roaring, which sisters quickly passed over. So this ends the 21st section in the Astika Parva of Adi Parva. Section 23 of the Astika Parva. Southi said, having crossed the ocean, Kadru in swift speed, accompanied by Vinita, soon alighted near Hars. Then they both beheld the foremost street of the great speed, with the body white as in the rays of the moon, but having black hairs in the tail. And observing many black hairs in the tail, Kadru put Vinita, who was deeply dejected, into slavery. and thus Vinita, having lost wager, entered into the state of slavery, became exceedingly sorry. In this meantime, his time came, burst forth from the egg without the help of his mother, Garuda of great splendor, enkindling all the points of universe, that mighty being endued with strength, that bird capable of consuming at will any form, or of going at will everywhere, and of calling to his aid at will any measure of energy. Effluent like heap of fire, he shone terribly, of luster equal to that of fire. At the end of Yuga, his eyes were bright like lighting fish. As soon after birth, the bird grew in its size, and increasing his body, ascended skies, fierce and vehemently roaring. He looked less terrible than a second ocean. And all the deities seeing him sought protection of Vibhavasu, that is Agni, and they bowed down to him, and the deity manifold form seated on his seat spake unto him these words: O Agni, extend not thy body. Wilt thou consume us? Lo, this huge heap of flames is spreading wide. And Agni replied, persecutors of Asuras, it is not as ye imagine. This is Garuda of great strength, and equal to me in splendor, endued with great energy, and born to promote the joy of Vinitha. Even in the sight of this heap effluence hath caused this delusion in you. He is mighty son of Kashyapa, the destroyer of Nagas, engaged in well-being of gods and the foe of Daityas and the Rakshasas. Be not afraid of it in the least. Come with me and see. They addressed gods from a distance. The gods said, Thou art Rishi, share one of the largest portions of sacrifices ever resplendent. Controller, along with the Rishi, wended their way towards Garuda and adored him of birds, the presiding spirit, animate and inanimate universe. You are the destroyer of all, creator of all. You are the very here Hiranyagarbha. You are the progenitor of creation in the form of Daksha and other Prajapatis. You are Indra. You are Hayagriva, the steed-necked incarnation of Vishnu. You are the arrow, Vishnu himself, as he became in the hands of Mahadeva during the burning of Tripura. This is for your information. Thou art the Lord of universe. Thou art the month of Vishnu. Thou art the four-faced Padmaja. Thou art the Brahmana. Thou art Agni, Pavana, etc. That is the presiding deity of every object in this universe. Thou art knowledge. Thou art the illusion to which we are all subject. Thou art all pervading spirit. Thou art the Lord of gods. Thou art the great truth. Thou art fearless. Thou art ever unchanged. Thou art Brahma without attributes. Thou art the energy of the sun. Thou art the intellectual functions. Thou art our great protector. Thou art the ocean of holiness. Thou art purity. Thou art bereft of attributes of darkness. Thou art the possessor of six high attributes. Thou art he who cannot be stood in contest. From thee have emanated all things. Thou art the excellent deeds. Thou art all that hath not been and hath been. Thou art pure knowledge. Thou art displayed to us as Surya does by his rays. This animate and inanimate universe, thou darkest the splendor of Surya every moment. Thou art the destroyer of all. Thou art that is perishable and that is imperishable. Thou art resplendent as Agni. Thou burnest all, even as Surya in his anger burneth all creatures. O terrible one, thou resist even the fire destroys everything at the time of the universal dissolution. O mighty Garuda, who movest in the skies, who seeks thy protection. O Lord of birds, thy energy is extraordinary. Thy splendor of that fire, thy brightness is like that of lightning. There is no darkness that can approach. Thou reachest the very clouds. Thou art the cause and the effect, the dispenser of the boons and invincible in prowess. O Lord, this whole universe is rendered hot by thy splendor, bright as a luster of heated gold. Protect these high-souled gods who overcame by thee and terrified withal, are flying along with the heavens in different directions on the celestial cars. O thou best of birds, thou Lord of all, thou art the son of the merciful and high-souled Rishi Kashyapa. Therefore be not wroth, but have mercy on universe. Thou art the supreme, O pacify thy anger and preserve us. At thy voice, loud of the roar of the thunder, 10 points, the skies, the heavens, the earth, and our hearts, O bird, thou art continuously shaking, O diminish this thy body resembling Agni. At the sight of the splendor resembling of that of Yama, when in wrath our hearts all lose equanimity and quake. O thou Lord of birds, be propitious to us who solicit thy mercy. O illustrious one, bestow on us good fortune and joy. And the bird of feathers, thus adored by the deities and diverse sections of rishis, reduce his own energy and splendor. Thus ends 23rd section of Astika Parva. The 24th section, this is the last section which I missed to upload previously. Sauti said, then hearing and beholding his own body, that beautiful feathers diminished in its size. The Garuda said, let no creature be afraid. You are fright in the sight of my terrible form. I shall diminish my energy. So they continued, that bird capable of going everywhere at will, ranger of the skies, capable of calling his aid any measure of energy, bearing back Aruna in his back, wandered from his father's home, arrived at his mother's side on the shore of great ocean. He placed Aruna, the great splendor of eastern regions, came to Surya, resolved to burn the worlds with fierce rays. This part I think I have mentioned. Then Sonaka asked him, "What is the why Surya wanted to burn the whole universe?" Then Sauti replied that Rahu was drinking nectar. So when Surya and between Soma and Surya, so both of them pointed out, and then Rahu was angry with Surya. The scientific explanation also I have given. So I put it in a short story here. So when both of them came in between, this the Rahu came, and then it was Lord Vishnu who was noticed. uh, he was given intimation that this is not God, this is Rahu who is sitting in between us. So Lord Vishnu used Sudarshana Chakra and killed him. But because he had already drank Amrita, his head became indestructible, and the head became Rahu, the body became Ketu, which is in the snake form. So Ketu is the spiritual part, and Rahu is the materialistic part. Because this has been he has been killed because of Soma and Surya. He would always visit them on eclipses. So that is, there is shadow falling on each other. That is the meaning of it. The shadow, with because of light, can produce shadow when it falls on the object, and that is what is happening here. Rahu is nothing but the shadow. They are called shadow planets. They behave like the same planet in which they are conjunct with, except when there is light, sun or moon, the reflector of light and source of light. So this is about Rahu and Ketu. So then he's appeased by grandsire, that is Brahma. So he brings Aruna with the great in front of Surya, doing the duty of charioteer, and he's taking away the energy of Surya. So he's who wanted to burn everything. So Aruna is the one. He's like a filter, which also I have explained. The other filter is coming from Maruds. So this ends the 24th section of Astika Parva. 25th already have been I have recorded.